Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Esports Simulation League, week number 2 for the NASCAR Cup Series, sponsored by Education Solutions. This week, 4th of July, we're here at Rockingham for 160 laps of action. Starting on the pole, the number 14 of Zachary Taylor, with that number 38 car of Evan Straxpool. Ethel on his outside had a great run at Daytona before he had some issues late on in the race. We'll see what he can do here. And starting on the inside of row 2 is that 111, your winner at Daytona last week, David Leathers. Starting up front in this race, gonna make it interesting. Got Tyler Markle on the outside, and rounding out your top 5 is that number 7 of Javier Vasquez. Getting ready to take the green here. Want to say thank you to all our servicemen and women far and wide for the support we can do this. Green flag in the air at Rockingham. Straxpool, hard start for the 38. Slows up most of the field, and Zachary Taylor gets a huge jump going through 1 and 2. 5 car lengths the gap back to the 111 of David Leathers. Crazy start to the race here. Looks like Javier Vasquez is up to 3rd. Slider in that 15, running 4th as we complete lap number 1. And we've got the top 7 cars single file, but back in the pack, it is hectic. Cars swapping positions all over the place right now. You see our top 10, Straxpool there, made his way. He's up to 6th. Fell back from 2nd to 6th, so he's on the rebound. Now everybody back up to speed. 2 laps complete, still green flag. Zachary Taylor, your leader, with David Leathers right behind in the 111 car. About 5 car lengths, the gaps separate them. Just starting to get in a rhythm now. Eric Davis in 5th place in that number 55 machine was given a great push to David Leo Moxon. Last week, worked a bunch of ground up on the field. Currently running 5th place, just running right in front of that 38 of Straxpool. Rough start for that number 38 machine, but just he's catching that 55 machine. Might be able to make some stuff happen, but we got some cars on pit road. The number 39 and the 31 coming down to pit road. Something wrong with Smith and Wilson. We'll have to see what went on with them. 3 wide action. The 69 in the middle, that's Andretti. And they just get together and get a little bit of damage. It looks like they're just coming down the pit road to fix that up. Rough break for Smith and Wilson at the beginning of this race. Up front, Zachary Taylor still your leader. Leathers not able to gain a whole lot of ground on him. About a half a second the gap between the two. Most of the field is now starting to go single file, falling in here at Rockingham. A long distance to go, 30 laps to the stage. Another 12 laps to go, or 22 laps to go until the stage break. So just sitting and riding, you see Slider back there in 4th place, just trying to catch up to Javier Vasquez, with Davis on his tail. Slider in that Barber Ford machine as he was last year. I think he's about the only car I see out here that did not change a paint scheme. But who needs to change a paint scheme when one looks that good? A little bit further in the pack, we take a look at Chris Andrews and Bobby Leo Moxon in the 2 and the 92. Those 2 drivers were high class on the field last year. Had some great run at Daytona with some decent finishes, but they're just sitting middle of the pack here in Rockingham at the moment. just riding it out on lap number 10 right now. Zachary Taylor pulling away from David Leathers in that lead position now, almost a second ahead of that P2 car. Really giving it all she's got at the beginning of this race. Really starting to open up a gap on the field. David Leathers now 2 seconds ahead of Javier Vasquez. So those two really starting to pull on the field now. Javier Vasquez holding on to third, just trying to catch back up. He's got Slater and Davis just hanging in right behind him. Taylor's got 3 seconds on these guys. And we're not really seeing a whole lot of action. You see David Wilson there pulling back onto the track after making some repairs right in front of your third place car. Vasquez goes to the top. Now we've got some action as Slater dives down to the inside of Vasquez, trying to take that third place spot and take advantage of Wilson coming back on the track. Davis is going to hop in behind and see if he can't get some action as well. He's going to look down to the inside of Vasquez going into turn number 3. Not going to be able to do anything there as Vasquez has the preferred entry into the corner. And they're going to single back out, move Dustin Slater up to third place after some misfortune for Vasquez, with a lap car pulling out of pit road in front. That now moves your leaders 2 or 3.5 seconds ahead of your third place car, Dustin Slater there. And you see Wilson with them fresh tires just blowing by your leader, Zachary Taylor. After only 17 laps, you can definitely see the tire fall off here. Will definitely make pit strategy something to look out for towards the end of the race. You may see some late pitters getting some fresh tires and trying to make a move on the field. We'll see what happens. Looks like we've got a battle for position between Brian Delt Jr. and Kyoto Soto for 11th place. See Gerald Smith popped in there out of the pits and came out to cause havoc. Looks like Fox Highwind in that 57 is now trying to take advantage of him coming out of the pits, and Brian Delt Jr. is trying to hold on the outside. This is a battle for 12th position. Chris Andrews trying to stick his nose in and get a little piece as well. Highwind's going to get by the number 8 of Delt Jr., and he's going to fall back in line, not allowing Chris Andrews to take anything from him. Bobby Leo Moxon right now on Chris Andrews' tail. Not able to do anything going down the straightaway either. So they're going to fall in line, move Fox Highwind up to 12th place. And with 9 laps to go left in stage number 1, Zachary Taylor just pulling on the field, 3.5 seconds ahead of third. 1 full second back to David Leathers in second. No real big movers in this race. Everybody just been staying in line. Pretty hard to pass here at Rockingham. It's definitely the track too tough to tame, but Zachary Taylor out front of the pack showing us how it's done. Not really gaining anything on the pack, but not losing anything either. He's just kind of staying about 3.5 seconds ahead of third place and keeping David Leathers a good second behind him. And with 6 laps to go in the stage, will we see any pit stops happen before the end of the stage? Not sure exactly what their fuel window is here. You see Zachary Taylor in the lead, coming up to a lap car coming down the straightaway. So lap traffic definitely going to be a factor here in this one. We'll see if that lap traffic ends up slowing up your leaders and causing problems. But we won't have to worry about lap traffic, I don't think, until stage number 3. We actually have some longer stage racing. Stage number 3 is 100 laps long, so we will definitely see some lap traffic action as Taylor is coming up on that number 96, Alberto de Moya, your last car on the lead lap right now. Rough day for that 96. He's fairly far back from the rest of the pack as you see Taylor going to the inside to put a lap on that number 96 machine. And a great pass for that number 14. We'll see if David Leathers can gain anything or if he's actually going to lose a little bit on Taylor. I think it's safe to say at this point, unless Taylor hits some unfortunate problem, I think he's going to be your stage winner with 2 laps to go left in this stage. David Leathers is just a little too far back to catch him, but I'm sure at the stage break we'll get some fresh tires and we'll see if any of these guys get a little racy. As Taylor comes out of turn number 4, he's going to complete lap number 27. David Leathers currently in second. Dustin Slider in that number 15 machine running in third place with Javier Vasquez behind him. Slider's pulling a little bit on Vasquez there in third place. He's got about a 1.5 second gap over Javier Vasquez. And there is 1 lap to go left in the stage. Zachary Taylor looking out front. He's a good 2 seconds ahead of David Leathers. Coming out of turn number 4, there is your stage winner. The number 14, Zachary Taylor, crosses the line. And he is going to be your Narcolepsy Network stage winner. The Narcolepsy Network supported people with narcolepsy since 1986. Coming in second place, David Leathers. Your winner last week wasn't able to get her done at the beginning of this race, but did not let Taylor get too far out of his sights. Look to see what he can do beginning at stage number 2 on the outside. Catch it up to the field. We're going to see some pit stops coming up here shortly. As the tail end of the field gets around the pace car. Down onto pit road, here they come, your leaders. Pit road's about to be busy. 1, 2, 3. Taylor, Leathers, Slider. We'll see what we got as we go through absolutely everybody on pit road, except for your few little lap cars that are out front. Slider making it to his box first. 14.5-second pit stops. You see Slider pulling out. There's Taylor. There's Leathers. Slider got Leathers. Moves Slider up one position on pit road. David Leathers moves back. What a great stop for Dustin Slider's team there in that number 15. Getting it done on pit road when you can't pass on the racetrack and you can get it done on pit road. It really puts a spark behind your team. A great job for Slider there, moving him up to P2 for the start of stage number 2. See our standings for your Drivers' Championship after 1 week. David Leathers up front. Bobby Leo Moxon a close 1 point behind him. So with Bobby Leo Moxon running a little further in the field, he's definitely going to have to make up some ground. Moxon currently running 15th. David Dunwoody now 3rd place in the standings with a great run at Daytona. And he is down in 24th position right now. And he lost 2 positions. Or he's down 2 positions from where he started. So David Dunwoody having a rough start here, but at a good spot in the championship. We'll see if he can stay up front. And there is your top 10 for your standings. As they come across the line, we're going to get 1 to go. And we're going to get ready to go back racing here on 4th of July. ESL Cup style. Zachary Taylor on the point. Dustin Slider on his outside. David Leathers in 3rd with Eric Davis in that 55 machine to his outside. Straxpool in that number 38 on the inside of row number 3. Starting off in 5th with Sraska Santagria, a driver we haven't really talked about much, up in 6th place in that number 35. Looking to make an impression on this NASCAR field. Tyler Markle in the 43 is in 7th. And in 8th is Javier Vasquez. Kyoto Soto in 9th. And Rich Pratchard rounds out your top 10 as we come through turn 4. The pace car is going to hit pit road, and it's going to be on Zachary Taylor to bring us green flag racing for stage number 2. And we're green flag racing. Taylor on the pedal, Slater on the pedal. Much better start for this field for stage number 2. David Leathers going to look to the inside of Slater. Slater's going to shut the door coming out of turn number 2. Eric Davis, Straxpool, Santagria all fall in line. They choose different lines going through 3 and 4. But stay in the same spot. You see Leathers moving up to the high side. Davis is going to look to the inside of David Leathers for 3rd place going down the straightaway. He's not going to have enough to do it. Leathers going to hold on to that spot. Bobby Leo Moxon moving up in the field, now 15th place, up 3 positions from that start. Looking underside Chris Andrews in that number 2 machine. Trying to make things happen on the inside. 30 laps the distance for stage number 2. As you see Bobby Leo Moxon, he almost gets it done on the inside. Can he clear Chris Andrews coming out of turn 4? No, Andrews battles back hard on the outside. Side by side as they enter turn number 1. Moxon's going to pull forward again. This time he does clear Andrews. We get 3 wide as Andrews gets pushed up to the outside. And they get back 2 wide. They think different of it. But Bobby Leo Moxon on the move up to 15th. As we see Rich Pratchard and Rhett Sawyer going at it. Sawyer on the bottom in that bright number 32. Rich Pratchard up top in that number 86 machine. It seems like the high side is preferred in 3 and 4, but the low side is preferred in 1 and 2. So it'll be interesting to see how these battles progress in this race. Dustin Slider up at the front. As you see, Sawyer gets past Pritchard there. Dustin Slider not letting Taylor get away, staying just a couple car lengths behind him. Leathers still on his tail as well. But that number 15 machine is really looking impressive here at Rockingham. Chasing down your leader, Zachary Taylor. He's led every single lap of this race. Kept that 15 behind him on pit road and is now actually starting to pull just a little bit on Slider. Not much. About a tenth a lap is what he's pulling on Slider. So Zachary Taylor definitely showing that he is a car to beat this afternoon. After that round of pit stops, we'll spotlight the number 36 machine at Kyoto Soto. He is currently, after 43 laps, our fast mover of the race, up 10 positions from where he started. So definitely on the move, a little further forward. Just broke into the top 10, currently running 9th place. 3.5 seconds back behind your leader. He is running right behind that number 43, Tyler Markle. So good run for Kyoto Soto and that number 36 machine early on here as we cross the line. 44 laps complete so far in this 160 lap event. Zachary Taylor still out front of Dustin Slider. A full half a second out front. And that leaves us with 15 laps to go in the stage. We got a lot of single file racing once again. It looks like these restarts and if we have green flag pit stops are what's going to be the determining factor for some of these positions. As we seen a little earlier, a couple lap cars coming out of pit road, shuffled a few things up, shuffled a few positions up. We'll have to see if multiple green flag pit stops causes a bunch of action on the racetrack and some surprise things happen. But currently, no surprise, Zachary Taylor in that 14 machine running away, now almost a full second between him and Slater. While we got a moment, we'll do a little through the field, starting with your leader there. We've been talking about him. He's been showing us what he's got in that number 14. He's got the Wrangler sponsor on there. Zachary Taylor running in P1. Dustin Slider in that number 15 machine. Currently running P2. Saw him get it done on pit road. Moving up one position, and that's all it took for him to be right behind our leader. Currently in P2. David Leathers, your winner last week, still staying up front here. Had a little mess up on pit road, but nonetheless, David Leathers out front, looking to try to keep that P1 spot in the championship. Eric Davis in that number 55 machine is currently in 4th place. He helped Bobby Leo Moxon to a great finish last week. Currently running 4th, catching David Leathers little bit by little bit. He's up 7 positions from where he started, and currently chasing Leathers down for P3. In 5th place, a guy who led the beginning of the race at Daytona, who was very strong, Evan Straxpool in that number 38 machine. And that number 35 of Roscoe Santagria in 6th place still. Having a great run in that 36 machine. Running in 7th, fell back a few positions from the start of this race, Javier Vasquez. He also had a pretty decent run at Daytona. Just wasn't able to complete the job. Tyler Markle in that number 43 right behind him is in 8th place. Solid top 10 performance from that number 43 machine this afternoon. And that number 32, Rhett Sawyer, someone you have to be aware of when he's behind you. He has made his way up into the top 10 as well. Working his way to the front. We'll see if he can get anything done on pit road and make a few more moves as he goes to the inside of Tyler Markle. Still making his way up. Markle goes to the outside of 1 and 2, but that 32 is pretty strong. I feel like he's going to get him. No. The 43's got it on the outside, that inside line with old tires just not getting it done. So Sawyer just going to stay there in 9th place. And in 10th place, that number 36 machine at Keanu Soto, just riding along as well in that top 10, waiting for this stage break. 5 more laps to go until that stage break. All these drivers hoping for new tires. Did you see Pratchard looking to the inside of number 36, going into turn number 3, trying to make it up into the top 10 before the end of the stage. 4 more laps to go in the stage. Fox Highland right behind, looking to make a move on that 68 if he loses any momentum battling with that 36 machine. Back up front, Zachary Taylor running away, 1.5 seconds ahead of Dustin Slater now. No lap cars out in front of him yet, so definitely have a pack that's staying a little close together for our second stage. But coming across that line, that's only 2 laps to go in this stage, and Zachary Taylor once again showing us how it's done now, starting to roll up. You've seen a lap car in the distance. Not sure if he's going to make it to him. With only 1 more lap to go in the stage, I think Zachary Taylor is putting a hurting on these guys. Dustin Slater running in 2nd place. 1.5 seconds back, just could not keep him there. As he comes down into turn number 3, Zachary Taylor going to pick up a 2nd stage point. Because coming out of 4, that number 14 is going to take the checker. Stage winner number 2, Zachary Taylor. End of stage 2, sponsored by the Narcolepsy Network. And Zachary Taylor is going to take them both. So that's 2 stage points to Zachary Taylor. Coming in 2nd place is Dustin Slater, 1.5 seconds back. With David Leathers rounding out your top 3 at the end of this stage. We're going to get them all bunched up on the back straightaway. Get them behind that pace car, and we have pit stops coming. Crews are on the walls. Tires are ready to go. Air guns are making noise. We're going to have a busy road coming up. And your leader, Zachary Taylor, is going to take them there. Can Dustin Slater capitalize and take lead on pit road? We're going to see right now as the cars dive off the oval and onto pit road. We'll see what they got. 1, 2, 3. Taylor, Slater, Leathers. Last caution flag to the end of this race, unless we get an accident. But green flag only for our stage cautions. 100 more laps to go the distance. These guys will have to pit one more time. Leathers is in, Slider's in, Taylor is in. Slider getting ready, pulling out of his pit. Slider takes a while. Taylor gets out. Leathers gets out. Slider has a horrible pit stop. Many cars getting out in front of him. Davis comes out third. Straxpool comes out fourth. Javier Vasquez comes out. Slider comes out ninth place. So a horrible, horrible pit stop for Dustin Slider. Not sure exactly what happened there. Great pit stop on the first stage, but just could not get it done on the second stop as he's going to come across the line in ninth place behind Roscoe Santagria. Zachary Taylor holding it out. He's going to be your leader coming to the third green flag of this race. David Leathers is going to try to make something happen on the outside. With Eric Davis, Straxpool, and Vasquez behind him. The clean and green strategy has worked out for Zachary Taylor. Left to see if we get a caution and these guys don't pit. If that changes who is dominating on this race when we get some heat cycles in these tires. So it ought to be interesting if we get any actual accidents or cautions in this one. But so far, these guys have kept it pretty clean. We've seen a little bit of damage at the beginning of the race from a 3-wide incident with David Wilson and Gerald Smith getting together with Andretti, but other than that, we've seen a pretty clean race as they get the 1-to-go signal. They get doubled up behind our Porsche pace car. See a great onboard camera of our leader, Zachary Taylor, as he comes down the backstretch of Rockingham here. You see it right there, Thunder Alley. These guys making some noise here at the track that's too tough to tame. Zachary Taylor gonna bring him to the green. David Leathers on the outside with Davis, Straxpool, Vasquez, and Markle. Got that 32 of Rhett Sawyer there back in 7th place. You know that kid is hungry and he's gonna be looking for something. As they pull down, green flag in the air. Stage number 3 is underway, and they both get a great start side by side across the stripe. Leathers trying to hold on to the outside of Zachary Taylor. Not going to be able to do it. Davis is going to try to look to the inside of Leathers, going down the back straightaway, but Leathers got a great run trying to stay with Taylor up front. Straxpool left on the outside as he gets passed by Davis, and looks to be like Markle's going to get by him here as Markle's got the inside line going into turn number 1. Straxpool looks to the inside of Markle, can't do it. That's going to ruin his momentum, move him to the outside. Will that number 35 machine be able to get him? No, he gets a little loose going out of 4. He's going to lose some distance on Straxpool there. Not going to be able to get it done. We're all getting more back single file. Got a little bit of side-by-side racing a little further back in the back. Dustin Slater battling with Chris Andrews right now, trying to hold on to another position. Slater back to 14th now. So a rough go for Slater, really trying to battle and take that 13th position back from Chris Andrews. And Andrews is just going to take it from him, clears him as he goes into turn 3. Move Andrews up to 13th and Slater down to 14th. Up front, David Leathers giving it all he's got, trying to catch Zachary Taylor. They're pulling away from the field, but Taylor just that much faster, keeps gaining a 10th of a lap on Leathers. Nothing that 111 car can do. Zachary Taylor having a great run. He's led every single lap of this race. Lap number 70. David Dunwoody back in 21st place, and that number 28 just takes a spot from the 89, battling side by side. And as you see, the number 48 machine trying to make a move on the outside. Adam Jones trying to follow Dunwoody through. And it looks like he might actually get the job done as the 413 machine pops in behind. It's Liam Boss in the 413. That bright orange and blue car. Running 24th position at the moment. Jones just can't get it done on the outside right now. Bird holding it hard on the inside. Great battle going on here. As you see, it's starting to hold some cars up. The 77 machine of Krieg moving to the inside of Boss. Now we've got a two-way battle. You see CJ Slava trying to stick his nose in there and try to make it 3 wide going back down the backstretch. Getting a little racy here, beginning of stage number 3. CJ Slava, your Xfinity champion from last year, having a rough go so far here in the NASCAR series, running 26th position. See if he gets in the hang of things and starts moving up the field as the season goes on. These Cup guys really throw it down in this series. And as Zachary Taylor is showing, he's been here for a minute and he is moving out almost a full second over David Leathers. Doesn't matter who's behind him, Taylor is moving. 75 laps complete. 5 more laps until we are halfway through this event, and Zachary Taylor just putting a hurting on the field. David Leathers currently running second, but just cannot stay with Taylor. Leathers has got a 2.5 back to 3rd place of Eric Davis. Zachary Taylor literally just running away from these guys. Davis is in 3rd. Tyler Markles for having a pretty decent run. He's moved up a couple spots from the last stage. He's in 4th place now. Looking to try to break into the top 3 and get himself a podium spot early on in the season. And you see Strax pulling that 38, running in 5th place, trying to redeem himself after a rough go at Daytona. Showing us that he does belong up front. Battle between Fox Highwind and Rich Pratchard in the top 10. Battle for 8th place going on. Rich Pratchard trying to take it away from Fox Highwind, and Fox Highwind not having any of it. Keeps it on the bottom. He's going to clear Pratchard coming out of 2. Give that spot to Fox Highwind. Still only 2 cars a lap down. Berto de Moya got his lap back with the lucky dog at our stage 2. So only 2 cars a lap down are Jaron Smith and David Wilson at this point. Everybody else doing a good job at keeping their cars on, and look at that, the 2 lap cars are battling there with each other at the moment. But we got everybody else on the lead lap so far. Zachary Taylor now has almost a 2.5 seconds on Leathers. Just absolutely running away, making it look easy here in that Wrangler car. As you see, we got a lap car too. A little ways up in front of our leader, should be about 10-15 laps, and he might be catching some lap traffic. That ought to be something we see if Leathers can just hold on until Taylor catches some lap traffic. Will he be able to do something? We will have to see. As we're just over our halfway mark here in this race, we're going to let you guys see the sights and sounds of Richmond as we have our first crank it up of the season. Welcome back to the Esports Simulation League NASCAR Cup Series, sponsored by Education Solutions. We are currently 89 laps in of our 160 laps scheduled for the race here at Rockingham. Zachary Taylor in the number 14 machine, absolutely dominating this race. Currently has a 2-second lead over second place David Leathers. Leathers staying just far enough in front of Eric Davis. Davis about a half a second back from Leathers at this time. But Taylor's starting to catch some lap traffic. He's catching that number 96 of Berto de Moya, as he did at the end of stage number 2. Caught him a couple laps later than he did last time, but he catches him here going into turn number 1 this time. De Moya takes the bottom line, slows Taylor up. Now Taylor's caught behind a slower lap car. Is he going to look to the inside? No, he's going to stay behind him. This could make Leathers catch up a little bit, as Taylor now goes to look to the outside of Berto de Moya. He's going to battle side by side. David Leathers has gained a half a second on this battle. Now almost a full second due to Taylor battling with de Moya. We'll see if Leathers has the same problem But Zachary Taylor lost 0.8 of a second to David Leathers on one lap car. Not too many ahead of him at the moment. Getting a little probably about halfway, if not more, over their pit window. So we should be hopefully seeing some green flag pit stops in the next 25 to 30 laps. You see David Leathers starting to catch up to Berto de Moya. See if he loses any ground on Taylor. He's going to get caught behind de Moya on the inside. He's going to look to the outside right away. He's not going to spend a lap behind him. Now he's going to look to the inside going into one. Leathers being a little more aggressive with de Moya. And he gets by him after one lap, whereas Taylor spent 2 behind him. So we'll see if that gave Leathers anything extra. And no, it didn't. 2 seconds the gap between Taylor and Leathers. So de Moya being an equalizing factor between the leaders right now. We'll see if the leader gets caught behind a bigger pack, if that makes a difference. But as you've seen, it only took one car for Taylor to lose 1 second. If he gets more cars, Leathers could be right on his tail very fast. We'll see if that happens as we come 97 laps complete. 63 more laps to go. And things are coming down to the wire. These guys could probably pit anytime and be able to make it at the end of the race. So we will see Zachary Taylor coming up on Zach Halldorf in the number 24. Halldorf going to be the next car to go a lap down. Currently running in 33rd position. You see Taylor moving into the picture a little more and more, catching Halldorf. I don't see a whole lot of lap traffic in front of him. I did see a couple cars. So we are seeing a pack there up in turn 1. By the end of this race, I have a feeling our leaders are going to be pitting. As you see, our leader catches Halldorf as he goes into 1, slows him down. Loses half a second there to Leathers. We'll have to see if these guys end up pitting before the leader catches the lap traffic, or the significant lap traffic. But as you see, Leathers is caught behind Halldorf here. Halldorf is a little bit faster than de Moya, which is really throwing Taylor off. It's going to allow Leathers to catch back up. 1.5 seconds the gap now between Taylor and Leathers. And once again, you see Taylor get caught there in 3 and 4. Goes a little high, and he's going to lose a little bit more ground on that 111 machine. Taylor driving it hard into turn number 1, trying to make something happen. Now 1 second the gap back to David Leathers. I think Taylor's tires might be used up, doing everything he can to try to get around that 24. He's getting runs on him on the straight, and then he just overdrives the corner right there. Just can't do anything about that 24 running on the bottom side. David Leathers now within a second of Zachary Taylor. Taylor better do something quick, because David Leathers in the 111 is coming. He's been hanging out in second and third place all race. Just hanging on, waiting for the end here. And now, within a half a second, within biting distance, David Leathers moves up. 55 laps to go as we come to the stripe. One more pit stop, but Leathers trying to make a move. And Taylor finally gets to the inside of Halldorf. Moves Halldorf up the racetrack. And there's David Leathers. Will Leathers be able to get to the inside of the 24, or will he get hung up? It looks like David Leathers might get hung up behind the 24 as well, or is he going to be able to move to the inside? He's going to look to the inside of the 24 going into one. Is he going to make this a one-lap lap car like he did the last one? Yes! Leathers makes a big gain on Taylor there. As we're coming up on a little bit more lap cars, Zachary Taylor is going to have to do a little bit better job than that, getting through lap traffic, if he wants to keep David Leathers behind him. Half a second now, the gap, 0.6 between Taylor and Leathers. Looks like Delaney Nash in that number 41 machine is going to be the next car to go a lap down, as we've got a battle between 11th and 12th. Bobby Leo Moxon takes a spot from Rhett Sawyer. Big side-by-side battle. Slider and Sawyer, and Andretti and Andrews side-by-side. Brian Delp Jr. looking to the inside of Waynes McGee in the 76 machine, trying to make something happen, but 76 making the high side work for the moment as he tries to get up along the number 69 of Alan Andretti. He's going to get on his quarter panel down the straightaway. He's going to get alongside the 69. The 76 trying to make that outside line do some work for him. Not going to work in turns 1 and 2. As we get ready to go, 50 more laps to go. Zachary Taylor coming up on Delaney Nash in that 41 machine. Could see green flag pit stops anytime now. Still only a half a second between Taylor and Leathers. You see Leathers right there. With this lap car here, we'll have to throw our leaderboard ticker up and see how much Leathers actually gains with this 41 here being in front of the 14. The 14 just can't get by the lap traffic the way he needs to. Looks like he's actually going to get to the inside of the 41. Almost makes contact going into turn number 1, pushes way high. Leathers takes a great line, allows to get there. Leathers right on the bumper of Taylor, and we're going to have a battle for the lead as we go into turn 3. Delaney Nash not going to be able to hold up the 111 enough. 2 car lengths now separate your leaders. Can Taylor pull on Nash, or on the 111 of Leathers, or is he going to be stuck? Them tires got to be getting old for these guys. Lap 62 is when they last pitted. So they are getting close to 60 laps on their tires. They're at about 53 laps on their tires right now. So everybody's got to be getting to the point where they're wanting some fresh rubber. But currently Taylor not able to pull away from Leathers, still half a second. The gap between the two. So we have 45 more laps to go here at Rockingham. Taylor able to pull just a little bit on Leathers that lap. About a half a tenth, but we're coming up on some more lap traffic. Antoine Bernoulli in the number 1 looks like he's up next to go a lap down. New paint scheme for that number 1 car this year. Currently running 31st, and you see another lap car ahead of him. This could make it interesting. These guys are going to start hitting more and more and more lap cars. Taylor now up 3/4 of a second on Leathers, so he did gain just a little bit on him. Still has a little bit more in the tank. David Leathers in the 111 is doing a great job at getting through this lap traffic quick to try to keep Taylor right there in front of him. As we come across the stripe, we only got 41 more laps to go. These guys could definitely make a pit stop at any time and be able to make it. Will we get some guys that try and chance it early? Or will we get guys that stay out and wait and get fresh rubber right at the end of the race? We'll have to see what their fuel tanks allow. Zachary Taylor currently stuck behind Bernoulli. Bernoulli, known to be a fierce competitor here in the Esports Simulation League. Been around for a few seasons. Taylor trying to get around him, just can't do it as you see that ticker. And David Leathers just get a little bit closer and closer every lap. Leathers running the inside. Taylor looks to be running that late apex, trying to get a great run coming out of the corner on Bernoulli. Trying to make it happen on the outside of the track. It's going to go to the outside of the one. Can he do it in turn number 1? No. Going to be side by side though, and he is going to clear him going down the back straightaway. So move Taylor in front of Bernoulli. Leathers just not able to capitalize on that lap car there. Now David Leathers stuck behind Bernoulli. Gonna look to the outside. Leathers been pretty good at getting by these lap cars so far. It looks like Bernoulli's got just enough speed that Leathers is gonna get stuck behind him as well. So that's gonna allow Zachary Taylor to pull a little further ahead. Got a battle for 5th place. Rosca Santagria taking the spot away from Straxpool in that number 38 machine. Straxpool trying to battle back hard on the outside, but give that spot to Santagria. Move him up to P5. Looks like Fox Highland trying to make a move on Javier Vasquez for 7th. Not going to be able to do it quite yet. And he loses a little bit of momentum. Rich Pratchard's going to look to the inside going into 3 on Highwind. Not exactly sure what happened there, but he lost a lot of momentum. Kyoto Soto in that 36, seeing what happened, looking to try to make a move, but he's got Bobby Leo Moxon all over his bumper. Pratchard loses a little bit going into one. They're battling hard side by side. You could definitely see that these tires are starting to wear out as they're starting to make moves a little further in the field. See Moxon going past Soto there. Making a move, moving Moxon up into P10. Second place in the points right now behind David Leathers. So Bobby Leo Moxon needs all these points he can get. Still got one more pit stop though, as Zachary Taylor brings us around. One more lap. We got 30 laps to go, and he's in some heavy lap traffic now. Really caught up. He's stuck behind a 115 machine, Ronnie Radnoff. And David Leathers is still stuck behind Antoine Bernoulli. So it'll be interesting to see if Taylor can get by any of these guys, or if we'll get some pit stops here shortly. We got 30 laps to go. I have to imagine these guys' fuel tanks are getting kind of low, so we'll have to see if we get anybody on pit road. And there it is, Bobby Leo Moxon on pit road, your first pitter, lap 130. Taking chances, getting them fresh tires. He's second place in the points right now. So a big chance by Bobby Leo Moxon. Taking an early pit stop. Taylor trying to work with some lap cars stuck on the outside. We'll see if we have any more takers to pit road. Coming up, green flag stops. And there comes Moxon out of pit road right in front of your leaders. That mixes it up. Bernoulli goes to the inside of Taylor. Your leader's 3 wide coming through 3 and 4. Taylor makes it through the 3 wide situation. Now there's 2 cars between him and David Leathers. And Eric Davis tried to make a move behind Leathers, looking to the inside. Can't make it done. Gonna look to the inside in 3 and 4 one more time. Mixing it up just as pit stops are starting. These guys are battling. Moxon's got new tires, and he's just loving this. Move Eric Davis at the stripe up to 3rd place. Or up to 2nd place. And he's going to get it done in 1 and 2. Move Eric Davis up to 2nd. David Leathers down to 3rd. Bobby Leo Moxon still your only driver that has hit pit road so far. Who's going to be the second one to hit pit road? And can Moxon make the most out of his new tires? We will have to see. He's currently a lap down. And stuck behind some lap cars, not able to really move. So not sure if that was going to be the greatest move for the 92, but we will see towards the end here. As we get coming to the stripe, 25 more laps to go. Taylor trying to make his way through lap traffic, trying to get by Berto de Moya once more. David Wilson in front of him. And our second pitter, Javier Vasquez, coming down pit road in the number 7 machine. Lap 136. Lots of position changes happening right now. Lots of battles going on the track. Everybody knows. And here comes your leader, Zachary Taylor, onto pit road. Eric Davis, Dennis Leathers, Tyler Markle all stay out on the racetrack. Three drivers now hit pit road. Everybody else has got to be coming soon. It looks like David Leathers might be coming to pit road this time. And he is. David Leathers hits pit road. He's going to have 1 lap fresher tires than Zachary Taylor. Is that going to be enough? We will see. Roscoe Santagria is on pit road on lap 138. So green flag pit stops happening with just over 20 more laps to go left in this race. Eric Davis, your leader, currently hitting pit road now. Tyler Markle, now your leader in the number 43 machine as he stays out. Eric Davis hitting pit road now. Kyoto Soto hitting pit road. See if Tyler Markle's going to come to pit road now. No, he's going to stay out some more. Be interesting if any of this lap traffic coming out of the pits causes an accident, causes a caution, leaves a bunch of our fast drivers a lap down. We will have to see. Tyler Markle still staying out. Straxpool and Sawyer taking the pit road. That leaves about 14 drivers, 15 drivers that have not pitted quite yet. The 43 gets woed up way too much by Delaney Nash there, as he does not come to pit road yet. He's staying out. 142 laps completed, 28 left to go. We will see what happens currently. Zachary Taylor is going to be your leader as you see Tyler Markle come on to pit road. At the moment, Zachary Taylor will be your leader when we get through the round of pit stops. Taylor currently in 11th place. But Bobby Leo Moxon with his early pit stop is currently in between Taylor and Leathers. Jack Brown currently in the lead right now, has not pitted. Many of our leaders coming to pit road right now. I believe that's just about everybody. There's only one car, the 115, that has not come to pit road yet, and he's coming to pit road right now. That's got Zachary Taylor behind him. Coming out as your leader. 16 more laps to go for the 14 machine. Out in front of Bobby Leo Moxon by a half a second. David Leathers running third. Oh, I'm sorry. Make that 8.6 seconds in between Zachary Taylor and David Leathers at the moment. Not really sure how Taylor pulled that off. There it goes. Scoring just fixed itself. 2 seconds to gap back to David Leathers, who just took over second place from Bobby Leo Moxon just a moment ago. So David Leathers on 1 lap fresher tires than Zachary Taylor. But look at that. Bobby Leo Moxon got himself up to third place with that fresh set of tires. But now everybody else has got fresher tires in him. About 10 laps fresher. As you see Eric Davis going by him, he's got 9 lap fresher tires than Moxon. So we'll see Bobby Leo Moxon fall a little further back. But with how far out this field is spread, we'll have to see if he can keep it in the top 10 for the last 12 laps. Zachary Taylor really showing us how to dominate a race. Stuck in lap traffic. Doesn't matter. Still way out in front of David Leathers. He's got a 1.5 seconds between him and a couple of lap cars battling side by side. So David Leathers got a lot of work to do for him as Taylor comes out of turn number 4. 11 more laps to go here at Rockingham. The track too tough to tame. And Zachary Taylor making it look easy today as he's coming up on the number 24. Is Zach Halldorf going to put him lap down one more time? Got the 5 car, Frank Wade. We haven't really talked about him a whole lot this season. Currently running 24th, trying to get a lap back from the leader. Currently the last car on, or a lap down, looking to be the last car on the lead lap, as he has some fresher tires than your leader, about 7 laps fresher, so he's going to go on around and unlap himself. You see David Leathers there trying to close the gap. 1 second, the gap between him and Taylor. Will those little bit fresher tires make a difference? Can he catch him as he comes down the back straightaway? We are under 10 laps to go. He's got 1 lap car in between him and a second in between Taylor and Leathers. 8 more laps to go, and the distance is staying 1 second. Taylor trying to add a 10th onto that second. He's got Gerald Smith right behind him on a little bit fresher tires. Keeping up, going to make it difficult for Leathers to pass if Leathers can catch him. But Gerald Smith looks like he might be a little faster than the leader, might actually hold our leader up just enough for Leathers to catch him. We will see. Coming to the stripe, only 6 more laps to go. Bobby Leo Moxon with that fresh tire set, looking at it, he's still in 4th, trying to hold off the number 35. Rosca Santagria. Santagria goes to the outside and makes quick work on Bobby Leo Moxon. Move Bobby Leo Moxon back to 5th with only 5 more laps to go as your leaders cross the stripe. David Leathers doing everything he can to chase down Zachary Taylor. Just cannot close the gap. Still 1 second the distance between the two. And he has Eric Davis right behind him, trying to make some moves, but it looks like he's got a lap car in there too. So Davis has got some work to do to try to get to 2nd as well. The real shining star today is that number 14 machine, Zachary Taylor. Other than when he took his pit stop, he has led every single lap of this race. Absolutely dominating with 2 more laps to go. Or sorry, 3 more laps to go. Taylor has got it pretty well set. David Leathers just hanging on there in 2nd. Gonna stay your points leader. If he can finish right where he's at. Bobby Leo Moxon still holding on to that 5th place position. Javier Vasquez closing fast. Half a second the distance between them. But up front here, Zachary Taylor. What a show coming out of turn number 4. White flag is in the air. 1 more lap to go for Zachary Taylor here at Rockingham. David Leathers trying to make the gap up, but he just can't do it. He's caught Gerald Smith, but he's just not going to have enough time as the 14 brings it through 3 and 4 one more time. Coming out of turn number 4, your esports simulation week number 2 winner, Zachary Taylor. David Leathers coming in 2nd place with Eric Davis rounding out your podium, taking that top 3 position in that number 55 machine. Rosca Santagria coming home 4th with Bobby Leo Moxon holding on to 5th position right in front of Javier Vasquez in 6th. Kyoto Soto takes home 7th place. Rhett Sawyer comes home 8th. Evan Straxpool, Ethel finishes 9th in that number 38 machine, and rounding out the top 10 is that number 43 of Tyler Markle. Had a great run up front today and gets her done in the top 10. But what a run for Zachary Taylor in that 14 machine. Puts it in victory lane here for week number 2 of our NASCAR series, brought to you by the Education Solutions. Does It doesn't seem like Zachary Taylor is looking to speak with us for an interview, but our second place finisher, David Leathers, we'll see if we can't get him on the line and talk to him about his first 2 weeks here in the Esports Simulation League. David Leathers, Rob Slater up in the booth. You got me? Seems like we're having some communication errors. Hold on just a second, see if we can't get him in here. But what a run for Zachary Taylor. He's going to bring home, there you can see on the left side of the board, the unofficial results for the race. Rich Pratcher is going to take it home in 11th. Chris Andrew going to bring it home 12th. David Dunwoody having a great run, bring it home 13th, with Alan Andretti and Freddie Trammell Jr. rounding out the top 15. See if I think we actually got our second place finisher back. David Leathers, Rob Slater up in the booth. You got me?
Oh, yes, I can
Hey,
hear you. Can you
David,
hear me?
great run tonight, man. You had it all. You lost a spot on pit road to Dustin Slater there on the second stage, and he really put it down. But you got the spot back, and you kept on him. What was it like trying to chase down that car the entire race?
Oh, it's hats off to Zachary Taylor for sure today. Clearly the best car on the track, and it was a huge challenge, and just it was fun though. And I still feel that I raced pretty well today, and all credit to Apex for helping me with my build this season. Wouldn't have been having these kind of results without those guys.
Yeah, your season has been absolutely spectacular. You came and you blew us all away at Daytona. What was it like winning your first race out with the Esports Simulation League?
Oh, it was a phenomenal experience. I've had some top tens, and I think maybe my best finish prior to last week at Daytona was maybe like third, I want to say. So I've had a little bit of success, but never won a race before. But yeah, it was awesome, and having you do the commentary just made it that much better. And thanks again for taking the time to do that. It definitely makes these races a lot of fun.
Yeah, it definitely adds a whole lot of excitement, not only for you guys who are watching this, but for us guys in the booth putting on this race. It really definitely brings the excitement. And when you guys really put the time into making your builds right, man, it really puts up for some racing. Now you're currently in the points lead after 2 races, with I believe Bobby Leo Moxon still right behind you. Do you have any plans for the rest of the season to try to make sure that you stay up front?
I think I'll probably just kind of be following a rough outline of kind of how our team is doing at Apex. We don't all have absolutely identical builds, but there's somewhat similar, and there's kind of like a sort of a rough outline to follow. And I just feel like the results that we've gotten these first two races just seems to make sense to keep kind of following that path. And hopefully my teammate Gerald can have a little bit better luck. He's unfortunately gotten into some accident trouble these first two races, but hopefully that'll let up at some point too.
Yeah, these builds, they definitely do vary, but you never know what's going to happen between a road course, a super speedway, or a little short track like Rockingham. We'll definitely be looking out for you for the rest of the season. Thank you for joining us for the race, man. You did a great job. For everybody here at the Esports Simulation League, we want to say happy 4th of July. Be safe, have a great weekend, and we will see you next week.